Welcome to On the Money Quiz Show. My name is Nelson Litsweni and I'm the host of the show. The purpose of our show is to spread financial literacy, so we encourage everyone watching at home to participate with us by answering the question that is on your screen. Send it to the SMS number that is on your screen right now. And what we do here is to make sure that everybody learns and everybody participates, and we'll get to engage with you even as the show goes on. What we want to do is just remind everybody that the content of our show, it's all educational and nothing in here should be construed as financial advice rather. So if anybody wants financial advice, we advise that the services of a trained professional should be sought. I have three contestants with me right here today, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, beginning on my left.
Hello, my name is Cecilia and I hold a master's in finance and investment, so I'll be very embarrassed if I don't win this. And I own a business called First Wealth Counsel, which provides financial guidance. So do follow my page on Facebook and work out what financial guidance can do for you.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Masako Linia and I'm a procurement and supply chain management graduate. I own a business called Virtual Assistant Botswana. Basically, I work as a freelancing PA and I do a lot of things. I'm into art, business, and stuff.
My name is Kusigani Mbambo. I'm an attorney by profession. I'm a mother of 4 and I love reading.
Great, wonderful. It's great to have our contestants here. Now I'm going to give you the rules of the show. What we have is, we have multiple choice questions and we have true or false questions. So what happens in the first round is, I'm going to ask each one of you have your own question that has 3 options. Question, 3 options, A, B, C, and you get to choose whether the answer is A or B or C, and whatever answer you choose, we get to engage it. At the end of the first round, only 2 of you will qualify to go to the second round. And every time you answer a question correctly, I give you 150 pula. Some motivation there, please. All right, and all that courtesy of Bankers Association of Botswana. So, are we ready to begin the show?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, Cecilia, should I start with you?
Yes,
okay.
I'm ready. Yeah.
You're ready?
Yes.
All right, so the theme today, we're focusing slightly on investing only. So, if I don't ask any questions anywhere else, because today we're focusing on investing.
I'm ready.
So your first question, Cecilia, is this. A stock market can be used by A, businesses that seek to raise capital for their businesses. B, investors who do not like risk and want their money protected. Or C, anyone looking for guaranteed income.
I know the answer to that.
Okay, give me the answer.
The answer is definitely A, is for businesses who are looking to raise capital.
Absolutely, no, that is correct. You're correct on that. I think it's sort of self-explanatory. In a way, what happens is businesses go and list their companies on the stock exchange, and as people buy shares, they get that money to expand their businesses.
Yes. And it can't be B, because as an investor, you have to know if you're going to invest in shares, it's a risky investment. Yeah.
Absolutely. Can't be B, because we say, what does B saying? Investors who do not like risk. So if you don't like risk, stay away from the stock market.
Exactly.
Okay, wonderful. Masuk, are you ready for your question?
Yeah.
All right, engage with me. A stockbroker is A, professional who is registered with a stock exchange to take your trades. B, any financial advisor who works for a finance house. Or C, a person who understands markets and works at the stock exchange. You are allowed to ask me to repeat the question.
Yes, please repeat the question.
Okay, a stockbroker is.
Yeah.
I'm looking for definitions here. The first one is this. It's a professional who is registered with the stock exchange and can take your trades.
It's A.
Okay. Or before I go on, A, that's what you want.
Yes.
Okay, you are correct. All right, Kusi, your question is, insider trading is, definitions. 1, when people like managers or employees use non-public information to trade and thus have an unfair advantage over the public. That's A. B, it is allowed as long as you declare it. or C, it is the best way to beat the markets?
A. A is my response.
A is your response, and why is that?
Because you basically, my understanding of insider trading is you use information that is known to you by virtue of your profession or coming across it in a business, and then you try and use it to your advantage.
Absolutely.
And disadvantage a third
Those
party.
who do not know. Okay, great. Now I'm moving on to true or false questions, and I'm coming back to you, Cecilia. You only get tax breaks if you invest your pension with a registered pension fund, true or false?
I'm going to go with true, even though I do not know anything about pension funds at the moment, but I'm going to say true.
Okay.
True, yeah.
And your true is based on what? On a hunch or on a...
Because pension funds are good for you, so, and because it's for, the government is doing you a favor, or it's supposed to be good for the employees. So I'm guessing you could get tax breaks from investing in pension funds. So I'm going to say true.
Okay, well, true it is. True it is. Okay. So that is one of the best way to get tax breaks. All right, Marcel. You cannot use your retirement annuity policy as collateral for debt, true or false? You cannot use your retirement annuity policy as collateral for debt, true or false?
I think it's collateral.
Don't overthink it.
You cannot use it.
Yeah, true or false? I'm making a statement. You can't use your retirement annuity policy as collateral for debt, which means you can't use it to say, hold on to this and give me some money. That's my statement. True or false? Am I telling the truth? Am I lying?
You cannot do that.
I can do what?
You cannot use your retirement as collateral.
Okay, so what? So it's true or false? The
The statement is you cannot use. Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
You
Okay.
cannot.
Well, true it is. So you cannot use that. But can you use anything else? That's a policy. Any other policy? Can you use it as collateral for that?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think
Well,
Okay,
if
well,
you have another policy,
that's not a retirement policy.
that's
could
not a
you?
retirement policy.
Yeah, could you?
Like what, for example?
Life cover.
Like for cover? No,
Life cover.
no.
You can't either.
No.
Well, you actually can, but I'm gonna leave that one for another round. Maybe I have that question somewhere, so I'll leave it.
I know you can use shares as collateral and also your investments in unit trusts.
Well, yeah, you could if they have value, you could.
Yeah.
If you just bought them yesterday, probably not.
Okay.
All right, Kusi, I have a question for you. The growth within your retirement investment fund is not taxed. True or false? The growth within your retirement investment fund is not taxed. True or false?
Within your retirement fund.
So you contribute money to your retirement fund, and my statement here is that money, whatever happens to it inside that fund, the taxman doesn't touch it. True or false? Don't overthink it.
No. False?
False? It's true. Well, true it is. What happens is when you invest your retirement fund, you do get tax breaks for investing, and while it's in the hands of a retirement fund, it doesn't get taxed. So that's another way to get a tax benefit, is put it in that, because it won't get taxed until the point you come out and you are ready to retire. Then the taxman shows up. But while it's in the hands of the fund itself, no tax there. So that's one of the ways to save your money. So that brings us to the end of our first round. And at the end of that round, I need to figure out who is progressing with me to the second round, and who do we bid goodbye to.
What is the future of help? It's to help people find the great in themselves. The drive, the passion. Help them find their true potential. Help them stretch. Help them grow. That's why we help people help themselves help the world, because a little help goes a long, long way. FNB, how can we help you?
At the end of our first round, let's see how much money we have and who's walking away from the show. Cecilia, you have yourself 300 pula. And Maseko, you have yourself 300 pula. And Kusi, you've managed to make 150 pula. So what does mean is I'm going to have to move to the second round with Cecilia and Maseko. And Kusi, thank you so very much for taking part in our show.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Welcome to the second round of our On the Money quiz show. Now we have contestants that have gotten themselves into the second round. Now, in this second round, what happens is every time you answer a question, I don't give you 150 pula, I give you 300 pula per question. Because what needs to be won for the whole show is 2,500. So I want to see who's walking away with a lot of money here today. All right, so we ready to take some money home?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So here's a question for you, Cecilia. Financial advisors say you should save up to 6 months of your living expenses because, I give you 3 options. A, 6 months is the best benchmark for saving. Or B, you can pay your expenses for 6 months while you are looking for a new job. Or C, you can use these savings to buy a new car. Why do financial advisors say we should save 6 months?
I think it has to be B, because just in case you lose your job, you need to have an emergency fund so that you can live off of that emergency fund while you're still looking for a new job.
That's correct. That is correct. You got that one correct. Okay, so that is basically why they say 6 months. It's not 6 months because 6 months is a good benchmark. It is 6 months because in 6 months, perhaps. Now, that works in an economy where it takes up to 6 months to get another job.
Yes.
But if you're in an economy where it takes 10 months to get a new job, then you probably have to spend to save up to 10 months of your savings. All right, Masero, ready for your question?
Yeah.
Great. The saying, you are 1 month away from disaster, applies to A, people who live near an earthquake zone. Or B, people who have no savings but depend on their income for everything. Or C, people who lend money to others who may run away with their money by month end.
I believe it's B, because like if you depend on your salary, what if you lose your job?
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is true, that is correct, okay? 1 month away from disaster means if you lose this job or if this income doesn't come in, that's when disaster strikes. So goes back and it supports that question that we answered. We asked Cecilia about saving for 6 months. That sort of also helps you to not live 1 month away from disaster. All right, so the next set of questions are true or falses. So I'm going to ask you one and ask you one and come back to you, Cecilia, and come back to you, myself. So the first question to you, Cecilia, true or false? When you take a life insurance policy, you must disclose all your medical history, otherwise a claim could be repudiated. True or false?
What is repudiated? I don't know what that is. Can you define that for me?
It could be denied. That's a word that the insurance companies will use. They say repudiate, but it's basically denied.
Okay. I think it's true because whenever you get insurance, you really do have to say, you have to declare all your medical history. So I think it's true. I think it's true, yeah.
True it is. True it is. Okay, so the claim could be denied if you didn't tell them that you have some hereditary disease or something, and then they find out the day you die. And how are they going to find out anyway after you die?
I'm not sure, but that's not the question. So I don't have money, so
Maybe post-mortem?
I know what happens. Well, not post-mortem. They get your medical history. They go to your doctor and say that this person. Insurance companies will do that. When you claim, they're like, okay, what did they die from? They died from this, and let's check if what they told us is in compliance with their medical. So they summon your records from your medical doctor, and then look at that and say, they were being treated for this, and they never told us, even if it didn't kill you. So it's very important to disclose your medical history, whether or not that kills you or not. That's
But why don't they summon it when you
because you're
start
still,
with them?
because you're still alive. You could get it later on in life. Okay. So true or false? That is true for you right there. Maseko, here's your true or false question. The insurance company determines your insurance premiums based on your level of income. True or false?
That is true.
Not true.
Okay.
Okay, they do not determine it on your level of income, they determine it on your level of cover.
Okay.
Right, so if you say you want 1 million pula cover, then they have to cover you for the million. But if you want 100,000 cover, the premium will be based on that, not on your
On your
earnings.
affordability.
Say that again.
Like they don't check your affordability if you can afford that.
That they will check, but the premium is not based on your level of income.
Okay.
It is based on the level of cover, the amount of cover that you have. And of course, they will check whether you can afford it or not. But the premium is not going to be based on, oh, this one earns too much money. Even if they want 100,000 pula cover, let's just charge them too much because they earn too much money. So it doesn't work like that.
But then, like at the end of the day, so if I earn 1,000 in a month and I want a cover that's gonna need me to pay more than 1,000 in a month,
Well, then you can't afford that. You can't afford a cover that requires $1 million. So then we will look at that, but that's not the determining factor. The determining factor for the cover is your affordability, in a sense that that's not the determining. The determining is the amount of cover that you want.
Okay.
So if you earn $1,000, don't ask for $1 million pula cover. Ask for a 15,000 pula cover, because then you can afford it. Okay.
so at the end of the day, your affordability determines.
It doesn't. It's a factor.
Indirectly. I think
Okay.
it determines that indirectly.
But that's not what they look. They look at the cover first. The first thing is how much do you want to get covered for, and then we go, and then we find that you can't afford it. But you see, that's secondary only. Okay, so
Okay.
sorry, we didn't get that one correct.
Cool.
Okay, Cecilia.
Yes.
Here's your true or false question. The term blue chip is implied from the game of poker, where the blue chips holds the highest value. True or false?
Wow, is that even financial literacy?
It is.
Well, I've watched a lot of movies, so I'm going to say. What was the question again?
The question is, the term blue chip is implied from the game of poker, where the blue chips holds the highest value.
I'm going to say that's true because of the movies. If it's false, then I don't know.
Well,
There's
true.
no financial literacy. Yep.
Well, true it is. That it is financial literacy, okay? Because you see, when companies are out on the stock exchange, we always easily name them blue chip companies. But that term itself is based from the game of poker, where the blue chips hold the highest value in the game of poker. So,
I like to thank Hollywood for all the movies.
all right, Masako, here's your question. The last question of the show. There is no difference between collective investment schemes and unit trusts. True or false?
Collective investment schemes.
And unit trusts. There is no difference between collective investment schemes and unit trust. True or false?
I think there's a difference.
You think there's a difference?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your answer? True or false?
There's no difference between false.
So you say it's false?
Yeah.
Okay. The answer is, it is true. There is no difference between collective investment scheme and unit trust. It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's two names for the same thing. So unit trusts are also called collective investment schemes. So
Okay.
there's no difference. And so you didn't get that one correct, right? All right. That brings us to the end of the show. Now, at the end of the show, I need to figure out who's walking away with a lot of money. And so we'll take a short break and come back and figure out what do we do with this.
What is the future of help? It's to help people find the great in themselves. The drive, the passion. Help them find their true potential. Help them stretch. Help them grow. That's why we help people help themselves, help the world, because a little help goes a long, long way. FNB, how can we help you?
At the end of the show, my winners have taken some money away from us. Let's see who's got how much. Cecilia, you have won yourself 1,200 pula. Masego, you have won yourself 600 pula.
Thank you.
And of course, Kusi did walk away with 150 in the first round. So now I have a little problem. I have 550 in my pocket that I am not allowed to go home with. So what I do with that, I'm going to give it to the overall winner, Cecilia. I give you an additional 550, which means you walk away with 1,750 from the show. Congratulations. You look speechless there. All right. Well, thank you so very much for participating in the show. And I'm glad that you get to walk away with some money. So thank you very much. Okay, let me say this first. All that money that you are getting is courtesy of Bankers Association of Botswana. What happens is, when you do have if you have a savings account, that money will be deposited in that. If you don't have any accounts, which I doubt, you will be allowed to open an account with a bank of your choice, and that money will be deposited in that account, courtesy of Bankers Association of Botswana. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Welcome to our tip of the week. This week, what we want to focus on is you making sure that you focus on your investments. You know, we've spoken before about diversification, but it's also important for you to be very specific and to be specialized in what you do. Diversification allows you to avoid risk by spreading properly, but it's also important not to be a scatterbrain. You know, scatterbrains are people who try everything that shows up, and they take money here and there and try this or that. And so if you're going to be able to do something, specialization is one of those things that is but when you think about it, can help you. When you think about some of the most successful people, you'll find that more often than not, you know them to be successful in one area. There are people you know to be successful because they focus on real estate. There are people you know they've been successful because they are doing good on the stock market, or they are great investors like Warren Buffett and all other people around the world. So it's very important to specialize, focus, and put your energies in one. As much as we say diversify, even when you diversify, we don't mean be scatterbrain, be everywhere, but make sure that it's very clear what you're trying to do. Now, it's important to get advice and to get professionals to be able to help you in that area so that you can be able to get the most results from that. So, as important as investing is, it is very important for you to make sure that the few that you put your money in are both tax efficient, but they are also helping you to be able to build the asset base that you believe that you want. So that is our tip of this week. Thank you so very much for participating with us on our show. And what we are saying, as we always say, is please participate with us. There is that question at the bottom of your screen, and then SMS number. Please send your answers to that number, and we'll be able to engage with you even as we go. And as a final reminder, remember, everything we do on our show is for educational purposes only, and nothing we say here should be construed as financial advice. If financial advice is sought, always seek the services of a trained professional. Thank you so very much for your attention. See you next time.